All right, welcome to another episode of the Weed and Wrestling Podcast live. We're live, we're doing it real. We are short of Lanaya Pod Goddess tonight, but I am Lash here with Will and Gus.
Yo, what's up, guys?
And we got some stuff to talk about. We're gonna end up talking about the best heels that and just a lot of great stuff from them. We're also catch up real with Willie stuff on the tag teams. He missed this little part of the segment, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, talk about news. That right now the ESPN deal is moving forward much earlier than anticipated. The upcoming Clash in Paris is going to be the last PLE on Peacock, and every PLE from here on out, minus Saturday Night Main Event, Peacock is still going to get Saturday Night Main Event. Otherwise, it's the PLEs for America are going to have to be streamed through ESPN after in just next month. I think, and apparently this was like kind of their hatching plan all along. That's why they've done so many PLEs, because they were trying to run out the contract on Peacock, so that way they could get to the ESPN even quicker. So apparently they had this cooking for a while now, and that's been the plan for most of the year. Is to just jam out one after another, and so that way they could get this deal up. But now this is going to lead to the immediate financial hike of being an American wrestling fan, or WWE specifically. How do you guys feel about this?
Well, let me just chime in with this. Plainly, it sucks. It sucks balls. All right. I get wanting to be legitimized and going ESPN route. I get it. You want such a legitimate name in sports. But the people that are going to be suffering are the fans that want to watch this. Dude, I've grown up watching wrestling since the 80s, since the days of Hogan and Macho Man, Andre the Giant. And, I lost touch because I really lost faith in it for a while when it was the PG era. But I've gotten back into it, and slowly but surely I'm enjoying it. The fans are, dude, what they fail to realize is that your average wrestling fan, they don't have pockets like Donald Trump. They don't have pockets like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're working class citizens of this country who go to work on a 9-to-5 at a thankless job for a measly paycheck, which they have to buy their groceries, pay the rent, pay their car note, pay whatever it is. And with whatever else they have left, God willing, they can put into some kind of savings. But now WWE wants to up these prices. I'm sorry. I can't jump along with that. I don't know how you guys feel, but I know for myself that hike is a problem. And if we want change, if we want this to change, the fans, I'm talking to all the fans out there in the wrestling world, you have to put a stop to this. You need to boycott WWE and ESPN if you don't want this to go through. And I'm not saying boycott them for 24 hours and then go back. No. Cut off WWE completely. Completely, 100%. Go somewhere else. Go to AEW. Go online. Find international wrestling somehow. You will find it out there. And then you're going to see, oh, shit. This is affecting my profit. We need to reevaluate this and see what we can do.
I think it's the end game with all this. Obviously, I think ESPN is paying them like $300+ million a year. So I just think it's the end game with this. I know they biggest comp. I think it was talks to them Possibly
I think
buying.
it's a $5 billion for 5 years deal.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's $1 billion a year.
Okay, thanks
5
for the
years.
correction.
Yep.
I think it's the end game to be probably the elite wrestling organization in the world because there's talks of them buying TNA. If you looked at the news recently, they want to go toe to toe with AEW with certain programming. So I think it's the end game in all this where they're gonna try to buy TNA and try to get some of these wrestlers to go from AEW to come to WWE. So I think there's the end game with that because I feel what you're saying. I think it does suck
It's
personally.
counter programming.
It's kind of it's kind of fucked up. Um, I know money is the main thing here, but let's call it what it is. NBC, which owns Peacock, kind of made WWE what it is today. You correct me if I'm wrong with Monday Night Raw, Sunday Night Main Event. SmackDown is on USA Network, which is a subsidiary of NBC Sports. Listen, we all have different opinions of Vince McMahon and what his outside life is. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this man is happy with the bullshit that's going on now. I don't think he envisioned all this crazy shit happening. WWE was a family-owned business. Now it's too much Hollywood now. Like you're telling me that you got paid $30 a month to watch the PLE, which the WWE Network was $9.99 a month. So
If Vince did the brilliant idea during the pandemic to make it free for 3 months.
Yeah, so
that's what it got me back into wrestling. Doing that.
I just think it's the end game of what they're doing, but I just think the fans shouldn't really have to penalize what the hell's going on. It's obviously what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I personally think down the road they're trying to get more elite wrestlers to come from TNA, NPJW, AEW. That's what it really comes down to it. They want to start paying more of these wrestlers in WWE. That way they won't jump ship to AEW. So to me, it's
Tony
just
Tony Khan's already called out Nick Khan for Nick Khan saying that we have we're starting some relations with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Tony Khan came out straight up and was just like, "Oh, you're having relations with them? Guess how many of their wrestlers I've had? Guess who is currently the NWJW champion?" He called them out on it, and I think a lot of this is going to blow up in their face because, as you were saying, boycotting. Well, here's the ultimate flaw in their idea of programming. Netflix worldwide has all of WWE. It's only in America that we only get Monday Night Raw and the Raw Vault. That's it. That's what we get on Netflix. Peacock still has a lot of the library. But apparently when that certain deal runs out, which I think it's supposed to be coming up at the end of the year there, that they're not sure if they're going to renew putting it back on there, but they're probably not because they have also stated that they have the entire archives backed up onto YouTube. The ultimate thing that's going to backfire in their face with this, though, is VPNs. You want to be able to boycott them being on ESPN, VPNs. A VPN, if you have a Netflix subscription and a VPN, which there's free ones. I use free one on my laptop. So just by that, I don't have to worry about it. And that fact. And I think that's the thing they're failing to realize in this grand scheme of things is you sold out your own country, your biggest fan base, to where think about the channels and all the streaming services that you would need total. Netflix, Peacock for Saturday night main events, because that's the thing, is they're going to be keeping Saturday night main events, but they're not going to be on NBC. They're going to be a Peacock exclusive. So if you want Saturday night main event, you're going to have Peacock. You want any PLEs, you're going to have ESPN. And depending on when the library goes up, ESPN might buy the library. So if they buy the library, that does leave some incentive somewhat to go to that if you're an American fan that isn't smart enough to know about VPNs. I have a laptop with an HDMI cable cord. I have a free VPN. I have Netflix. I don't have to worry about it. But it's just the fact that they are going gun-ho on this without just realizing the logistics of it. It's just as insulting as them trying to pull that ploy of John Cena's gotta do a movie for Netflix that same weekend of SummerSlam. How fucking dumb do you think I am? How fucking dumb do you think I am? Okay, good. Go ahead, put it on ESPN. I'm not gonna buy it. Free VPN. Go ahead, have it on Peacock. Guess what? Not gonna buy it. Got a free VPN. Guess what? So where in their scope of mind do they think? Because the very first channel that I saw announce it was Cultaholic, and immediately hundreds of comments of just people in America saying, "Well, I'll just get a VPN. I already have Netflix, so I'll just get a VPN." So I don't see where whoever the marketing strategy for doing this is a complete idiot. But they've been a complete idiot for a while.
Well, you know what the thing is too? They're banking on there's going to be a lot of people that aren't educated enough that are going to fall for this trap of, I'm going to pay $30 a month just to watch PLEs, just to watch WWE programming. I'm sorry, WWE, you're underestimating your clientele. This is
the 90s. Back in the 90s, we would pay $30 for a pay-per-view, but granted, $20-$30 went a lot further away back then.
But not only that, but I remember there was two options. Either you or, well, I was pretty young back then, so it was my dad who got the box where you could get pay-per-views for free. Or you hosted a pay-per-view party, you charged everybody like $5, and you had 20 people in there. You made the money for the pay-per-view.
I just go to the bodega.
$5 or $10, and you had everybody bring snacks.
I just went to the bodega.
Yo, word.
Yeah.
Buy like a 2-liter of Pepsi, get a pizza. Yo, you had yourself a pay-per-view party.
Yeah, that's true.
Hot dog stand. That's how I got all my pay-per-views back. I worked my uncle's hot dog stand, so I had money for it.
Here's the thing. I think people's not saying it right. We talk about PLEs, but there's a difference between PLEs in the big four, right? I think WrestleMania is not going to be. It's not going to be $30. They're going to raise the price on that. SummerSlam, it's not going to be $30. They're going to raise the price on that. So you see what I'm saying? Royal Rumble's not going to be $30.
Dude, it's already just in the fact that they are charging a ridiculous amount for these live events for you to attend. So they're probably you're right, they're gonna up the price on you buying the PLE at home. But if they're smart, let them do this. Just an idea. It's not just the PLE that you get. You're gonna get some kind of merchandising, maybe some kind of like an incentive to buy the next PLE. Like, you know what? We'll give you $10 off your next PLE. Or
AEW does.
If they were smart, they would do something like that.
AEW doesn't have a subscription service for their pay-per-views. You have to buy their pay-per-views. And they do pretty well at it, actually. They get more pay-per-view buys than they do regular viewership. So, yeah, there you go. I know you're laughing, but it's saying
It's
something.
true. That's true.
At the
Listen.
same token, there's so many options for people if they want to just not watch WWE. There's plenty of options out there. All they have to do is go online, find these international, wrestling promotions. WWE is maybe the biggest dog in the house, but they're not the only dog in the house.
And a site that I highly recommend. It's pretty easy to find because if you just put in "watch wrestling" on Google, but it's watchwrestling.ae. It is a website that goes all over the world, and it has all the fights and everything from MMA to wrestling, and especially all the wrestling. They have legitimately every single wrestling event that goes on, and it's on there for free. Watchwrestling.ae. Go ahead, folks.
Thank you for that. I'm definitely gonna tune into that.
Yeah. Watchwrestling.ae. Get a Netflix subscription. Get a free VPN. Then you have all of WWE. Because all you need is a Netflix subscription and a VPN, and you have everything the rest of the world has. And that's the thing is, I feel like as an American fan, they're just trying to play this whole system as a way to fucking plague us and only us.
Yeah.
And
anybody who's looking to get into the Netflix subscription, if you have T-Mobile, they offer it to you for free, so that's another advantage if you want to do the VPN.
I also have T-Mobile, so I also have free Netflix. And
there you go. I mean, you got to watch a couple commercials, but who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
But let's let's just act like Netflix is WWE is good on Netflix too, because it's not. It's not really good on Netflix. I haven't really been impressed since it's been on Netflix. Raw used to be 3 hours. Now it's like 2 hours and 20, 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I just think shit is getting worse and worse at the fucking minute, man.
Well, you know what?
They've lost a lot of momentum. They have lost a shitload of momentum because they have had just storyline after storyline going nowhere. Triple threat, four-way match, fucking triple threat, four-way match. Like there's no storyline that you can be able to cultivate out of it. Like I really would have preferred, that LA Knight and Seth freaking Rollins have another good one-on-one and have a good storyline to carry on with that. But you got to throw in all these other people. I don't give a fuck about seeing them. I don't want to see them again.
The other thing is they're focusing too much on backstage promos, backstage presentation, and this one talking about this one, and this one talking about that one, and the interview this and the interview. Where's the wrestling? Where's the wrestling?
And
you give me maybe 3 or 4 matches. Okay, fine. But I don't want to see all this talking. Listen, if I want to hear talking, I'll turn on the radio. I'll listen to a morning show. Okay. Or as a matter of fact, I'll tune into the Weed and Wrestling podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what's so funny, and I know it wasn't here Tuesday, but y'all probably addressed it. The whole thing with Naomi, I got a different opinion about the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, be careful how you speak about my queen.
No. I'm team listen, I'm team Naomi all day. Like I'm gonna say it like this, but I just think what I liked about Vince versus Triple H, if you had beef inside the ring, he made it seem like you had beef outside the ring too. You see what I'm saying? And like your point is, Gus, it's like it's too much backstage, like that documentary we saw. Yeah, like that documentary just saw, like the Triple H documentary. That's what I like to call it, because technically it was all about him.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in hell Vince would have showed Seth Rollins Randy Orton dapping up Logan Paul after a fucking match. Vince wouldn't show no shit like that. You know? So
Yeah.
again, it's just too much backstage politics. Now this shit with Naomi, I know I wasn't here on Tuesday, but I just didn't like how the whole shit was played, man. It was crazy. It was like too much hell, real life hell. It was all over the fucking place, man.
You know what though? You know what though? People are smarter than they were 30 years ago. Okay, when I was a kid, okay, and you had guys like the Ultimate Warrior, I was like maybe 8. And I believed he was from the middle of nowhere, this monster that they found somewhere from the pits of hell. Okay.
Right.
We bought into that shit, right? We bought into all of it. We bought into man gang being a one-man gang. We bought into, Kane being a burn victim. We bought into all of that. But today's
This always falls back to Neo Boyks the Clown. He was the only one that I truly believed.
But seriously, today's fans are a lot smarter. They have access to more information than we did. Back when I was growing up, I didn't have anything of the, I didn't have an internet to go find who is Terry Bollea, who is the real, I didn't have any of that. Now fans know where these wrestlers hang out, where they go to eat, what their horoscope is. They know everything. And let me just take a moment right now. Congratulations to Naomi and Jay on their child. On their upcoming child. Congratulations. I salute you both. But yeah,
I want to say congratulations to him, but also I can't wait for about like 20 years from now when she's going to use this as a storyline against the child. I hope that she's still that she comes in still playing like her role and stuff, and just you ruined my chance as a champion for a year.
No, I just want to see R-Truth as the babysitter.
20 years.
I want to see R-Truth babysitting the baby.
R-Truth. I have R-Truth and Omos. Babysit the baby. The babysitters. That would be a great tag team too. R-Truth and Omos.
Yeah, I'm just upset that they're not doing much with R-Truth. At least that I've seen. Like they brought him back for the fans, but what? They have him relegated back to being a joke.
Yeah.
They literally made light of it with John Cena, where he's like, "You're back, I'm back as R-Truth. You're back, John Cena." And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. They're legit calling it for what it is, which I'm fine with. I'm much happier that they're just like, okay, we're done with that. We're gonna do the status quo. But I'm not happy in the fact that R-Truth, Ron Killings, isn't getting a push, and he just put out a rap record too.
Right.
Yeah, he put out a rap record. That's not too bad. I watched some of it when he did the live stream premiere of it, where he performed it just on his phone with like the music behind him and shit. And he was talking in between the songs. It was fucking great. He's someone that much like Karrion Kross. Which that's another thing that they were they weren't tuning up or acknowledging the "We Want Kross" chants at SmackDown the other day. You see "We Want Kross" signs. I think that they're straight up done with them. Even though I think the fans, we would love to see Karrion Kross back. I don't see WWE like going back for him. The fact that they offered him a deal, just him, not Scarlett, and that they're like, you got 24 hours to respond, or we're taking out the deal. And he's like, the strong arming a guy who has gotten the most heat naturally, and even getting his praises sung by Paul Heyman a few days before then, and then all of a sudden he gets he gets the axe, hard, and like suppressed. You know, they're actively kind of like suppressing it, and it fucking sucks.
Right.
So shout out to Karrion Kross. He's wonderful, and I hope he finds something and soon, to catch on to the heat. I know he just put out his book, and he's going on a worldwide book tour of it, and it's selling pretty well, actually. So
well, it's not like Karrion doesn't have places where he can go. I mean, if WWE wants to play this bullshit game and not take advantage of someone who has that much heat, has that much of a following, Khan is he'll pick him up easily. He's like, oh, okay, we'll give you a better schedule, we'll give you a bigger push, we'll give you more money. It's
pretty simple.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
right there. The man's made money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Karrion's not going to be stupid. If WWE doesn't want to play ball and there's someone offering you a better deal, why not?
Yeah.
But this what kills me about the WWE. They getting all this money a fucking year, and you can't take care of your wrestlers. I hate to say it. They only care. Triple H only care about
Brock Lesnar was getting paid $10 million a year. For the last 3 years, he hasn't even been on.
So these are the only wrestlers that Triple H cares about, right? You correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, Triple H Jr., which is Seth Rollins, right?
Yep.
Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, John Cena. That's it. Those are the only 4 he cares about. The rest of them is just afterkill. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're making all this money a year and you cannot take care of nobody else, it's just crazy, man.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this. You guys all work. You guys all have a job, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah.
It boils down to how much money the bosses get to keep in their pockets. That's what it boils down to. You know how many, dude? You know how many? Listen, when I used to work at an ambulance company, they will remain unnamed. Dude, we've had ambulances that are death traps that don't get properly fixed. They basically use chewing gum and duct tape. They pull a MacGyver to fix these things and have them run. That is what the big bosses are doing. They want to keep enough money so that at the end of the year, guess what? We spent this much. We didn't go over our budget. We're going to get $500,000 as a bonus. Oh, yeah. My accountant, he helped me keep that. He's going to get $10,000 bonus. Okay. At the end of the year, they're going to look at
small chunk numbers,
how much money they made, and they're going to see how much money they can put in their pockets. It's all about who can get bonuses at the end of the year, because they don't care about the little guy. They don't care about your new wrestlers that are coming up. They don't care about the NXT stuff. They don't.
It's a corporation, though.
Exactly. So they're keeping the money in their pockets. The big wigs, the CEOs and COOs and ABCs and DE, whatever it is, they're the ones that are keeping the money in their pocket, and they don't want to have to spend to keep someone like Karrion Kross or any other big names. They don't.
If they were smart, they would make money, which they were. He was one of the top merch sellers right before he fucking left. He was making money. The Killer Part 2 got what, over 750,000 views in less than 2 days. And it's because he did it. It's because that's why. If they were behind his push, he'd be getting a push. If they were the ones to help manufacture his heat and his catch on, he'd still be there. But because he did it, and because he went off script when he didn't go off script, he did his job. He did what he was told, and he just did it better than others. It's another, with a lot of the releases that they've had this year. Nobody's crying over Carlito.
I told you that wasn't a release, bro. He got deported. ICE got a hold of him.
shit, and we were joking a few months back, but fuck.
Listen, Carlito's got nothing to worry about. In all reality, Carlito's got nothing to worry about.
No, I'm saying
I
was just using him as an example. Braun Strowman, who his knees are shot out. A lot of these other releases, they haven't really hit quite as hard as R-Truths or Karrion Kross's have. R-Truths, that seemed real. That seemed real, and I believe that in the simple fact that he's not gotten a push.
Yeah, no,
that's
bullshit.
They brought him back to appease the fans, and they haven't given him a push.
Yeah, that's bullshit. After they brought him back, after the fan backlash, that they haven't given him a push.
Yeah, and I think they're looking at it the same way. Of, okay, we get this guy Cross back on, we spend X amount of money to give him a good deal, and then what? Then what if we don't push him right? Then he's going to be another R-Truth. Fuck that. We won't bring him back. That's probably the way they're looking at it, which is stupid. I think they would make more money if they did that, but I digress. And we'll get on to real heelish things and stuff here. Will, your pick the other day for favorite tag teams was a good one. Who was it?
The Outsiders, Hall and Nash. You know what? Speaking of the Outsiders, right? I was watching on the way on the train out here. I was watching that. You remember when they had the formation of the NWO 2000?
Oh yeah.
and the Outsiders came, and they thought they was gonna beat up Bret Hart and beat up Goldberg with the bats. Then for some weird reason, Roddy Piper got on top of Goldberg to protect him. Then Jeff Jarrett came and hit him with a guitar. So yeah, man. But Outsiders, man, to me that
they attacked Bret Hart first, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then Bret Hart ended up like turning on him.
No. It was Bret Hart and Goldberg, and I guess Bret Hart was in on the fix. So when Hall and Nash came, they beat up Goldberg with the bats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Hall and Nash, man, to me that's my favorite tag team, man. It's just the storylines they had is legendary, beating up people and jumping people.
Changed the industry.
Changed the industry, man. The NWO, man, like unbelievable, man. Mm-hmm. I remember they power bomb on Eric Bischoff at a Great American Bash in Baltimore, and they picked him up and threw him. It was crazy, man. But they was legends, man. They was legends.
Kevin Nash throwing Rey Mysterio into the side of the trailer. Fucking. Yeah, that WCW, that episode of WCW, I remember watching that. Of the Outsiders coming in, and Macho Man hops onto the back of the limo.
Yep,
it's pulling away.
Yep.
But people thought that was real, and legit called the cops. They legit called the cops.
That's true, man. Then I was watching when they first won the tag team titles, when they beat the Harlem Heat. I mean, it was a controversial win, but that shit was funny. No, I think what was the guy named Colonel Taylor, or whatever his name was. He took Harlem Heat's manager. Yeah, the Colonel. So he took. I guess he had something. He took it, and Nash beat. I forgot who he hit with it. Did he hit Booker T with that?
Probably.
Yeah, he'll Booker T with it. Then next thing you know it, he put a hole on top of them. They won the title. No, he put a hole on top of them. They won the title. But yeah, man, they legends, man. They're definitely legends, man. Definitely.
Yeah, no argument here on that. They definitely changed the face of wrestling
Yeah.
They did something that was unheard of. Even by themselves, bro, they were such a dominant tag team. And I think what made them work so well is that they were like legit best friends. They knew each other
Yeah.
back and forth. There are only a few people in your lifetime that you're like that with, and they had that connection where where Scott is doing one move and Kevin is doing something else to complement that move. You know, so
Right.
they meshed so well. They were literally, I kid you not, I was talking about the Heart Foundation on Tuesday. They had that same connection, where they worked so well off each other. So I think that's another reason that they were so legendary.
Right.
Yeah. And I've said it many times on the podcast. Scott Hall is just one of my overall favorites. But without Scott Hall, wrestlers would not get paid what they are getting paid today.
Yeah, the merchandising deal.
Scott Hall was the one that led the charge on getting paid by Turner. He saw what money he could make, and he was the one that let everybody else in and got them all the good deals. And wrestlers would not get paid what they get paid today if not for Scott Hall. And Kevin Nash is the one to say that first, because he was like, why are you going over to WCW? Bro, look at what they're paying me. Come on. When I saw what they were paying him, I was like, oh, yeah. All right, how do I get that? Let me talk to this bishop. Yeah, it's simple as that. And but the storyline, the invasion storyline, and we'll end up talking about this as heels. When talking to heels, is arguably the pinnacle of wrestling, especially of the Attitude Era. That's what started the Attitude Era, was Bash at the Beach '96 and the turning of Hogan and the start of the NWO. That changed the complete face of wrestling. It changed everything. We wouldn't know. Wrestling would probably look so much different if those guys didn't go over and do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Say that Turner wasn't forking out the big bucks like how he was, and they decide to keep Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and they stay over there, but they're not Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They're Big Daddy Cool Diesel and the Razor Ramon. And they're still under Vince's banner. Which they did fine for New Generation era stuff like that. They did fine, but we're not talking about them as their individual characters in WWE. We're talking about them as the outsiders in WCW. One of the greatest of all time. Period. Mount Rushmore of tag teams, they should be up there for sure. And getting into heel stuff, because I'm looking at the time too. What time do you gotta go, Gus?
I could stick it to about 9:45, 9:50.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll get into the heels here. Just for those of you playing the home game, good guys are baby faces, bad guys are heels, and heels. You don't have the good guys without a good heel, and there's been so many generational ones, career defining ones out there. So who would you one of your guys favorites would be?
All right, so since I probably have to go the soonest, I'm gonna go first. Now I know this is gonna be out of left field, but the guy that I picked as one of the best heels in the business had a very, very short career. Okay. He was on Raw. I think he was on Raw for sure, but his career was cut short because the network was like, "Yo, you need to stop this shit. We need him off. You cannot have him anymore. This it's hitting to real life, like for real." And I'm gonna say Muhammad Hassan, dude. For as little time as he had, everybody booed him. Everybody hated him. He was the villain of villains for that short period of time. If it wasn't for that incident, I think in England, where there was terrorists or something that went in and took hostages, he would still have had a long career. But because there was a segment that he did with guys literally dressed like those terrorists, the network was like, "Yo, we need him off. We can't have him anymore. He's too controversial." And this literally came on the heels of the 9/11 attacks. So while he did not portray a terrorist, he portrayed a Muslim wrestler. You know, he played that fine line of like, listen, I'm just that guy. I'm an American who is being judged for the actions of others, and people love to hate him. I don't care. I don't care what side of the spectrum. He was one of the most hated bad guys, period. And I know there's been some bad guys out there. Hogan was up there because he was the babyface for the longest, and then he went bad. You know, he went bad when he joined the NWO. But Muhammad Hassan from day one, was the most hated heel in WWE in that short time that he was an active wrestler.
I mean, you're not too wrong on that fact for sure. I wouldn't. I can't really further expand on it because I wasn't watching at that time. So I'm just, I knew who you're talking about. I knew the nuclear heat that he had. But pun intended.
Dude, just do yourself a favor and YouTube anything with Muhammad Hassan, bro. Everybody hated him. Everybody.
Yeah. But right on. How about you, Willie? What's one of your favorite heels?
The one that's running WWE now, Triple H. I just hate him as a fucking heel, man. Like he was a good heel, man. You love to hate him, you love to like him. He was just, man. He was a good heel, man. He was a good heel with that sledgehammer taking people out, and you know he was good, man. He was a great heel, man.
The Reign of Terror.
Reign of Terror, definitely.
He does have a small period of time, technically an era, a sub era is named after him.
Yeah, like it's, you know, yeah. He to me, he's the greatest. He's the one of the best heels ever, man. And you know who's my sleeper pick too is fucking Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair was a heel his whole fucking career, man. I don't think it was one time he was ever a good guy. Maybe he was, probably for a short period of time, but he was a heel, man.
The only times he was good was by proxy of like NWO stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't and it's not like he wasn't being Rick and being a heel. He was kind of a baby face by proxy.
Exactly.
But he's so iconic, man. Woo, just simply, he's the one wrestler out there. Him and Sting have woo. But when people do woo, do they think of Sting or do they think of Ric Flair? They think of fucking Ric Flair.
Flair, no doubt.
And it just his promos, just the way that he cut on people. One of my favorite things to watch is Ric Flair going off like script on promos. One of my favorite. Yeah, there, boy. Go ahead and look at me. I'm gonna make your mama go woo woo woo.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Come on down to Space Mountain. Longest ride, longest line.
That promo with him and Jay Lethal, that was one of the most, to me, in my opinion, top 5 promo ever. Top 5 promo ever, him and Jay Lethal. That shit was funny.
You know what? You can watch that promo over and over and over again, and it will never get old.
Oh, I want to see it.
And the thing is that makes it even more perfect is that Jay Lethal does such a perfect impression of Rick.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding? It was like looking at the negative of a picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I will wear whatever I want, whenever I want. Fucking one of my favorite little bullshit Ric Flair stories is the fact he woke up with 2 women in his bed. He woke up and he was missing his Rolex, so he thought that they had stolen it. And then he's like, "You stole my Rolex," and they're like, "No, Rick, you didn't steal the Rolex. You got the salad and you threw the Rolex into the salad bowl, and you told the waiter, here, that's more than you'll ever make in a year." He's just one of the best. Right up there along with him, one of his camaraderie mates, Roddy Piper. It just the man punched Cyndi Lauper.
I mean, who really likes Cyndi Lauper? Let's be real.
I fucking love Cyndi Lauper. Thank you. All right. I got to see her, Pat Benatar, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. It was the Ladies of the 80s tour. And she opened. And she finished with Time After Time on the mandolin. Okay? The whole place was crying. Joan Jett and Blackhearts came up afterwards, and Joan Jett said, "You know how bad it sucks to have to come up behind Time After Time every goddamn night? I have this whole crowd crying by the time I'm up here." But Roddy Piper, though, the Piper's Pit, he was the first one to have his whole own segment, just to talk shit at other wrestlers. And when he was injured, they let him do it so he continued storylines, continue them going. He was in the main event at the very first WrestleMania as the bad guy. And his promos is just his mic skills in general, and his history too, and the pride that he took in the business. I'm a big fan of Roddy Piper. One of those guys, never won a world title. But he could definitely win one of the biggest heels of all time. That's for sure. Another one, also from that era too. But he was so good at both of it. Macho Man Randy Savage, when he was first Macho Man, for the first 3 years, he was a heel. And then he went babyface for 2 years, and then he became Macho King, and was heel again. And it's Macho Man Randy Savage. It's psychologically, promos.
He was definitely a great one. You know what? I just want to add
no Hulksters to my left, no Hulksters to my right.
So I just want to add another, I'm going to say honorable mention. I actually had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman. I actually trained twice at a seminar that he taught. Everybody hated him because everybody, we all work for money. We all got to make bills. We all got to pay rent. But this guy had money in spades, and that's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He knew how to play a heel through and through. You know, I'm still taken back to the day that he had that little kid bounce the basketball 10 times on number 9. Oops, you missed. He made that kid cry for real. And the thing about it is, he may have played a heel in real life. On WWF TV. He played a heel through and through, but if you actually sat down and met the guy, the sweetest guy, very humble. Actually, he was the guy who he gave me a piece of advice, and I will never forget it. I take it with me to this day. He said, listen, it's great that you want to be a wrestler, but you have to realize that there are a million other guys that want that one spot at the top. Always have a plan B. Always have something that you can put food on the table and keep a roof over your head. And that's what got me into medicine. So, $1 Million Man, thank you for that wonderful advice. I have not forgotten it. But he was such an incredible heel. I mean, throughout the ages, I don't think, besides Muhammad Hassan, I don't think anybody was hated more.
I just wanted to add on to what Lash said, with Roddy Piper. I was watching some videos of him too in WCW, and they were screwing him over. They definitely were screwing him over, man. Yeah. I don't even think he won a match in WCW. Matter of fact, he did. I take that back. Yeah. But I think they were screwing him over.
He had to. I know that because that was part of his thing. He really didn't have a big loss record, and that was kind of the give and take of it. Is that he knew he wouldn't get a world title, but he also knew he would never get pinned or never submitted. Like you can't really find too many matches to where he lost by submission or that he lost in general.
But WCW, they were screwing him over.
Yeah. I'd say with somebody that also had huge heat, the Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik, man. That was Hogan's first champion that he beat back when he was he was the villain that got Hulkamania started.
Whether it be in wrestling or on Jerry Springer, that man was a wonderful heel.
Oh my God, amazing! Fuck you, incredible. Rest his soul. Another one. When it comes to managers, there's only one man that can compare to him. That's Paul Heyman, but Bobby the Brain Heenan. My God, he was manager to the heels of heels, and he would team up with other heel managers. Bobby the Brain Heenan, also, just him being on microphone and being a commentator. He was incredible. Him and Gorilla Monsoon, right next to Jerry Lawler and JR. They're one of the they're the other best pair ever. Plenty to say about him. Another good one, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is amazing. He's
my
amazing.
buddy who I ate chicken with. I made friends with him for about 5 minutes. That's my clay. That and Rick. I didn't talk about doing shots with Rick earlier. Because Lanaya would get mad. Lanaya gets mad at me when I bring up the fact that I met Randy Orton and Ric Flair, and I don't know why. Yeah, but
we'll let her voice her anger at you next time we meet.
She'll forget about it. She probably won't watch this. And if you are watching, what?
Oh shit! Shots fired.
But the Legend Killer gimmick, man. What a better goddamn gimmick, especially for what era they were in, into the PG era and everything by that point. He's great on the mic, he's great in the ring. I sent that short of his son training too. In there, he does the snap power slam just like how his dad does. So keep the Orton family going. That's for sure. And another one too. And I was just watching the video about it. Jake the Snake Roberts, one of the greatest.
You and I were on the same pages now because his name just popped in my head.
Yeah. The craziness, when he was talking about, I want you to bring Elizabeth. I want you to bring her because I want to see that fear in her eyes again. I want to see it, Randy. He almost had the
aura of like, what was the name of Robert De Niro's character in Cape Fear? He almost had that kind of feel, almost like a serial killer taunting you, very cerebral. And dude, not for nothing, but to bring out actual snakes, that a lot of people are afraid of snakes to begin with. That just added to it. But that moment that he had the cobra bite Macho Man, holy shit, that was unheard of, bro.
And Macho Man made him get bitten by the same snake earlier that day because he didn't trust that it wasn't defanged. But still, Randy ended up getting sick for like 3 days from it, even though it wasn't it didn't have venom. He somehow got sick from it. So, but Jake the Snake, dude. Another one that he was good both ways, but really underrated as Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart as anti-American Bret Hart.
97.
Hart Foundation. That was because the Hart Foundation, they were like, even the original incarnation, they were kind of like heel, like they could switch from like heel to babyface tag teams at certain times. They were mostly babyface, but by that point, I just watched the promo earlier when I was like researching some of this stuff. The promo to where he talks about the year that he got fucked over, and every match and how the fans screwed him over. He goes on for 8 minutes, but everything he says is absolutely true.
You know what? Those are the best. Those are the best promos where they are based on reality, because it's like you can't dispute that. You can't dispute the fact that Bret got screwed over. You can't dispute that this was a controversial moment in wrestling history that still echoes to this day. Like you mentioned the Montreal Screwjob. It doesn't matter if you weren't born back then, you know about it if you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. Even if you're not a wrestling fan and you look at it from a business standpoint or a law standpoint, because I'm pretty sure lawyers probably had a field day examining this and looking at what they could get out of it, as far as like if Bret Hart decided to go the legal route and be like, oh, you screwed me, I'm sure there was lawyers that looked into it. But yeah, those promos are the best. The ones that you have truth sprinkled in is like, oh dang.
Which that leads to that was part of the reason why I brought up Bret. Is there a more heel action ever done than the Montreal Screwjob? And is there ever a bigger heel in all of wrestling than Vince McMahon?
I'm gonna say no. No, Vince, as far as heels, Vince is probably the biggest heel in the company. He's the biggest because he can screw over anyone he wants, when he wants, however he wants.
That's right.
Okay,
and he did it in real life too. He screwed over the territories.
Yeah,
he like that's the thing. It bled over into real life. He was a piece of shit in real life. He was a piece of shit in the ring.
Listen, as far as the Montreal Screwjob, it's neck and neck with Hogan going heel.
And it's from the same time.
Right.
And without one, do you not get the other?
Right. The only thing that I would say, okay, in comparing the two, they're neck and neck, but I give the Montreal Screwjob just a little bit more, only because that was
Because
real.
it was real.
It was real. Hogan turning heel, that was just part of the script. But the Montreal Screwjob, it was real. So yeah, the Montreal Screwjob is probably the biggest heel storyline you'll ever get in the history of wrestling, period.
And keep this in mind. Brett screwed Brett. Brett screwed Brett. Fucking, oh my God. Vince, diabolical, dude. Straight up diabolical, that man. And like I said, bled over into real life. A lot. and you know, but we can't, we don't have wrestling for what it is today without him. And
True.
and but it's also the other part. He's the biggest heel of the biggest era in all of wrestling.
Yep. Hell, he's the biggest heel now. And with that being said, it's literally my time to go. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, W.GG. Check out their energy drinks. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be out because I have to go to work, unfortunately. Beyonce hasn't answered my DM, so I have to actually keep working. I'm going to leave the rest of this show to these two lovely gentlemen. And I use the term gentleman very loosely. But I hope you guys tune in next time, and we'll see what we talk about next time. Do we have anything planned for next time?
Not yet.
Not yet, but we'll discuss that in the chat.
We'll probably have more heel talk.
Yeah, we need to talk about dumb wrestling names. What's that?
Oh, Jesus.
WrestlePalooza. Yeah, we need to talk about these dumb wrestling names, like the top most wrestling names for pay-per-views or wrestling shows.
Oh, yeah, Jesus! On the same level as like superheroes, like too much Coffee Man or Matter Eater Lad or.
WrestlePalooza. When I saw it, I started laughing, bro. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck
is that on
Pornhub?
Yeah. Exactly.
WrestlePalooza.
All right, boys.
All right, man.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, but next week, I can't wait till Tuesday to see what we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Which we'll have to like go over some more heels and stuff that, you know, because there's plenty of others. CM Punk, you know, The Rock, like an incredible heel. There's a lot. There's a lot to go over. But Vince kind of took the fucking cake.
Absolutely.
He made the cake though too. So.
All right, man. I gotta go because my battery about to die. Right. But man, definitely Tuesday.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely wake up, man.
Absolutely. Right. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care. Stay safe. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.
All right. Later. Good night.
Good night.